Even San Francisco is now crumbling under the pressure. And now San Francisco mayor is asking for $63 million more for police amid a massive crime wave that's going around in San Francisco and basically the whole entire Bay Area. So if you guys don't know what's going on, San Francisco, a lot of businesses are being robbed. Crime is everywhere. I mean, if a city gets to the point where you gotta lock up candy, it's pretty much a city that's doomed to fail. Retailers are leaving. Whole Foods have left. Old Navy has left. Nordstrom, even AT&T's flagship store is leaving. I mean, basically the luxury grocery stores are leaving. Even Uniqlo is leaving. Guys, Uniqlo isn't even like a luxury store. I mean, they just sell like $15, $20, $25 tees and decent pants and coats. If the Uniqlo leaves, I mean, this city has to be super bad. And I think finally, for once, San Francisco mayor has started to notice about this whole situation and is trying to tackle the crime. I think you got to tackle the crime first, prevent a lot of this robbery stuff going on so businesses will actually stay. But I think it's a little bit too late. But you do see that there's a massive budget increase for the police compared to the previous one. I think a lot of people who are managing San Francisco right now are getting a little bit nervous. And like I said before, it's a massive shame to see this wonderful city going down in the dumps. With people saying that this is like a Detroit 2.0. In fact, the San Francisco thing is so scary to the point that even San Diego, for the first time, I've never seen this for a California city, they actually implemented a massive ban on camps and also homeless encampments in the city. That's what San Diego did. And San Diego is actually using a lot of the resources to do like affordable housing, areas to take care of the homelesses instead of for people just living in tents in the middle of downtown. I think San Diego is kind of freaked out by the whole entire San Francisco situation. San Francisco's tourism is down by a quarter at this point, and possibly even more. And San Diego's tourism is thriving because they're pretty close to Tijuana, and the place is actually pretty nice to chill. Great beaches as well. And San Diego is actually pretty freaked out about this. So it's getting to the point that where other California cities are actually implementing a lot of different new rules to combat, to prevent their downtown to turn into another San Francisco. So crime has been a growing problem for San Francisco, with several businesses, big and small, leaving the city. Seriously, if you look at some of the videos online, you're probably going to be seeing one, commercial office space and retail space selling for pennies on the dollar. And number two, you're also seeing a lot of these businesses being robbed, and these businesses are leaving. They're never coming back. Anchor stores are also leaving. And almost 400 jobs are set to be cut in the San Francisco area because Nordstrom is closing 2 locations over dynamics of the city's downtown area. Guys, I have never seen in a single 3-month period so many big stores leaving. Like when you have Whole Foods, Nordstrom, Uniqlo, Abercrombie and Fitch, Anthropologie. Like if you have that many stores leaving, this city's completely screwed. Even Dave Chappelle had to make like a joke about this and pretty much said the city needs its own Batman to address its crime issues. I mean, this city, I feel like no matter what you do at this point, it's a little bit too late, but let's just see what happens. Hopefully it recovers, but also keep in mind that another downtown San Francisco office building is selling far less than its expected price. So this is going to be 180 Howard Street. This is by far one of the best real estate locations in San Francisco. So this is pretty far away from the Tenderloin District, which is the open air drug market. This is actually very close to the water, just like 2 blocks away. Environment's actually good. And this is kind of like what you could say, like the last holdout of San Francisco that's actually very clean and very nice and still commands a high property value. This is also where the Salesforce Tower is. And of course that one leaning tower as well. And this is kind of like where your multi-millionaires are going for when they're buying condos. And now this building, it's a massive building, by the way. Like right here, it's like 10 to 15 stories. It was supposed to be worth $85 million. Sold for about $62 million. That's a massive difference. And by the way, $85 million is already a steep discount. I don't really know what it was sold for in the past, but definitely way more than $85 million. And just for comparison, we have another skyscraper. This is another one downtown, a very fine location as well. 550 California Street, which sold for less than half of what the owner paid for in 2005. That's terrible, okay? 350 California Street, sold for 75% off. And also, the 22-story financial building and several other buildings around it are mostly empty, with most of the companies quietly leaving. Startups, companies you've never even heard about, companies only worth, a few $1,000,000 to maybe a couple $1 billion market cap, they're quietly leaving. Now, the press usually doesn't report on the smaller companies leaving, they only report on the big corporations. But guys, if you look at the spreadsheets, the charts, you will see a lot of software startups, even the AI guys, are now leaving for places like Miami, Tampa, Austin, the Midwestern cities. And it seems like all these tech companies are so centralized in San Francisco, and basically the rest of the Bay Area, like Silicon Valley, are suddenly just flung out of the area. And now they're all just breezing through the wind and going to different cities randomly. And now it seems like America has new areas for startups. Austin, that's very hot, and Miami. Seriously, you actually save money by moving to these places. And check this out. We're also seeing a lot of Bay Area cities actually starting to notice that maybe these camps and also maybe not caring is causing a lot of money to leak away. There's a massive brain drain going on in the Bay Area with a lot of talented individuals so sick of the situation, and the city's not doing anything, and they're paying like crazy high taxes, so why even live here in the first place? Online work is rising. Companies are moving online. Companies are also moving out of the Bay Area, which is another thing. So people are just simply leaving. Bay Area cities and counties are getting $46 million to clear homeless camps and add shelters. Finally, I think it's perfect. I feel like there shouldn't really be all these camps on the floor. It really does affect businesses and real estate prices. Seriously, build a little bit of affordable housing. Build some shelters. Help out. I think San Diego is actually doing an okay job. They actually banned homeless encampments in the downtown area and several areas around it. And they're also going to start shelters and a somewhat like affordable housing and places to shelter a lot of individuals who need help. I think that's pretty good. And it would be really nice if San Francisco did this a little bit earlier. But just now, you're seeing new rules. And that's after so many big retail stores have already left for several months now. And we already have zero tourism in San Francisco. Because why would you ever go to San Francisco when there's so many better places to go? I mean, even San Diego is pretty decent right now. Seattle's tourism is still pretty high. Not a single city in the US that you're seeing hotels of this caliber closing down. Los Angeles, with all of its problems, still has pretty amazing tourism, surprisingly. Manhattan, despite all its problems, still has great tourism. Chicago, great tourism. Miami, fantastic, don't get me wrong. Nowhere in the country do you see a hotel of this size defaulting on its loan. Only San Francisco. So Park Hotels have stopped paying their $725 million loan, which makes you wonder, what about the building? Don't they even want the building? Why not just keep paying it to at least have a building? Well, what Park Hotels is saying that the building itself is worth less than $300 million, $400 million. So the debt and the mortgage is worth like twice as much as the value of the building itself, because the building has dropped so much in value and nobody wants to buy it. So they're like, screw this, we don't even want this building anymore. First of all, there's no tenant. Second of all, the building is only half the price what it was before. We're just going to default on this loan and give it back to the bank or the city, whatever it is. It's another zombie building in San Francisco. And they're surrendering Hilton, San Francisco Union Square, Park 55 hotels. I mean, this is not a small hotel, guys. We're talking about 3,000 hotel units in the heart of downtown San Francisco. This is actually a very, very good hotel unit, and they're fully defaulted. They do not want the building anymore. Guys, there's not a single American city that has a default of a hotel of this size. I mean, sure, you'll see like maybe a few hotels like, like $20, $30 million defaulting, but you don't see like $725 million defaulting. And this is a very big, iconic hotel. Like, if you go to San Francisco, this is probably gonna be one of like the top 10 hotels. I mean, even like troubled cities, like in my opinion, like Chicago and Los Angeles, where there's actually an outflow of people, even their elite hotels are not like going bankrupt. Like, they're still pretty full. I mean, this hotel is really, really empty, and that's crazy. So be careful, guys. And we're going to be seeing a lot more craziness happening in San Francisco. And I really hope the city really cleans itself up. I'd love to visit the city once again. But with this whole entire craziness going on, I feel like San Francisco is a little bit too far down the road for any sort of recovery. But let's see what happens. Okay, at least some changes are being done, which is pretty nice.